Noisy Pixel.
It's always a drag to hear about games that I missed out on growing up, especially when they're good games. Luckily, more and more publishers are pushing for updated versions of these classic games, so people like me can be a part of the cool kids group and talk about the times, quote-unquote, when games were good. My name is Brian Lee, and this is Noisy Pixel's review for Killer7 on PC.
I'm the mother of this sacred place. Our 4 children served their purpose. They didn't die in vain.
Killer7 is a tough one to explain. You play as a man named Hiram Smith who is old and wheelchair-bound. However, that doesn't stop him from creating physical manifestations of himself in the form of 7 different characters, hence the name Killer7. As Killer7, players will be able to switch between each of these manifestations as they take on missions that lead them into buildings full of targets. Killer7 puts an interesting spin on the rail shooter genre. Players are able to travel back and forth through the halls and switch into first-person shooter mode to scan for invisible enemies. Yep, the game has invisible enemies, but they notify you of their presence with a almost Joker-esque laugh. Along with that, there are puzzles and level-up features that require the players to collect blood from enemies to use them to gain new skills. Gameplay also has a similar mechanic to Dark Souls, where if the player dies, they need to travel back to where they died to collect the blood. Although I thought this mechanic was interesting at first, it became tedious after a while because the game requires you to collect the blood as the cleaner Gratian Smith and return it to your room in order to revive the character. The PC version of the game is a good port and looks crisp and sharp, although I would have liked the preloader options to be available in-game. Killer7 is a game that is difficult to explain, but so much fun to experience. The game has a certain charm and personality that makes it unique, and I found myself enjoying the game even more because I could tell the developers enjoyed it themselves. If, like me, you missed your chance to play Killer7 when it first released, I highly recommend you pick up this touched-up version and experience it all for yourself. Noisy Pixel is giving Killer7 a 9 out of 10. As always, thank you for tuning into the review. My name is Brian Lee. You can find me on Twitter at NPIt'sJustBrian, and also follow me on Instagram at It's-a-me, Brian. You can always find more news, reviews, and previews on our website, noisypixel.net, and follow us on Twitter at NoisyPixelNews. Additionally, you can check out our weekly podcast, Noisy Pixel Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play that releases every Saturday. Thank you.
Better think again.